this video is not used to give you advice or anything like that. It's simply something that I wanted to bring up from my own experience, but hopefully bring some kind of awareness, or if you've not thought about this for a while, then it can maybe open that a new perspective, or just give you some sort of insight. Because I think when you try and kind of improve slowly, it's very important to have a specific mindset. I mean, there's mindsets for a lot of things, but it's very important to have a good mindset where you are constantly improving, and over time you see a very good kind of change in progress. My water bottle just collapsed on my chair. But no, I wanted to bring this from my perspective, because I don't know, I've kind of been on both sides where like I've not really improved a lot, and then when I adopted, or I wouldn't say adopted this mindset, but I'd say more so when I just became a bit more mindful and a bit more aware of myself, that I managed to unlock some new doors, and I've personally seen some nice potential, like some nice growth, and it's something that I'm continually trying to do. And maybe you're doing this as well, let me know. Or maybe you've not started this or haven't even thought about this, but either way, I want it to be as much of a help to you as it has been for me. So when it comes to what I'm about to say is, there was a period of my time where, especially a couple of years ago, mainly 2021, 2020, 2019, basically even before that, but I guess I was a bit more younger, but when I was especially at university, that I didn't really see much progress in myself. Now, if I was to compare my first year and my last year, yes, there was a lot of progress, just simply because it was a completely different environment that I was in, and also I kind of grew as a person because it's 4 years, so there was obviously big change. But when it comes to self-improvement, there wasn't much. And after a lot of contemplation and just sitting down and just kind of thinking, well, pinpointing where I could improve and why things didn't go to certain plans, it just hit me really, like, especially during my time at uni, where I was basically going through the motions. I was going through every day became like kind of one. I didn't really know what day each day was. Like, it was going fast, but at the same time it was just happening. Like, it was like I was in a routine, but it wasn't necessarily where I was improving necessarily on myself. The only routine that I was in was just studying and uni life. And when I mean by uni life, I mean just your typical nights out, drinking, partying, and yes, I went to the gym, but it was more so just as a social thing as well. Like, of course I wanted to improve, but like I wasn't really like that I need to hit these numbers this week, I need to like improve on these lifts, that I need to try this routine, change up the workout plan. Like, I was going consistently, but I wasn't mindful about my actions here. And this is the key point that I'm trying to bring to this whole video, and it's the I messed up there, but it's the mindset shift. That is quite hard to say, I'm not gonna lie. Mindset shift that really, I think, changed it for me. Like, and it's basically this. So I was going through the motions. I was going through every day. I didn't really know what I was doing, if I'm being honest. Like, I was just being a typical student, right? Broke all the time. It's you know what it is like. It's just the normal student. I didn't really know what I needed to improve on, or where I needed to kind of do some work in, and just kind of be better with myself, you know, to see some change. And as a result, every year I would really not see many progress in myself. Like, the years would go by, but like, I'd just be like, realistically, like, I haven't really seen, like, I've not really improved as a person. And it's only just literally last year when I left uni and I moved back home and I got my priorities straight. I did things that I needed to do, like delete social media, for example, or just cut down on certain things and start new things as well, where I started to be more aware of myself. And as a result of being aware of myself, I started to see change in me, which then radiated and became consistent, and as a result, I've just seen growth. And I think it's very important here, because it is the reason why I wasn't like that at uni was because I didn't have intent. I didn't have intent in my actions. I didn't have purposeful actions. And because when you don't have purposeful actions, you don't then have purposeful. If you don't have intentional actions, you don't have purposeful habits. That's what I like to say, because you can have habits for anything. You can have good, bad habits, right? Like, it doesn't matter. You can, you know, smoking can be a habit, drinking can be a habit, but also reading can be a habit. Habits are there, but then it's which ones bring you value. And I didn't really understand where that was at with myself. So because I didn't have intent in my actions and I didn't know what I wanted, without an accumulation of actions, that's how you get a habit. Habits are formed when actions are done. And because I didn't have any intentional actions, I didn't have purposeful habits. And because I didn't have purposeful habits, it just led to no change, really. Like, I didn't improve. So what kind of practical advice, not advice, but what kind of practical steps did I take to change that and see some good growth in myself? The practical steps that I took was, number one is I just kind of sat there and looked at myself objectively. And I want you to do the same here. Like, after this video, just sit down, don't listen to anything, don't do anything, maybe just get a notepad and pen and just look at yourself objectively. So there's no kind of emotion, or you don't attach any emotion to it, you don't attach any feeling, I mean, I guess that is emotion. You don't attach any thoughts to yourself here. You simply just look at yourself objectively, and you look at the things that you currently do, like, and be completely honest. So you don't have to tell anyone with these things. Like, I didn't say it to anyone. Like, this is simply just for you. You're doing this for you, all right? So simply just acknowledge where the areas that you'd be truthful, be completely honest, and just say to yourself, what is it that I'm doing right now that I'm not very proud of? What am I doing currently, like literally right now, or in my daily, in my weekly routine currently, that I'm very much not happy with, or that I know that I need to change? That I know exactly that I need to change. It's not like that I might change, it's that I know that I should change. What are those things? What are those actions? And then I would say get a pen and paper and write them all down. You know, write all the things that you know that you need to change down. And then look at the things that future you would want to be like. What's your, yourself, but at the highest potential. This is where you start to unlock potential, because you look at the actions that you currently do at the moment, being completely truthful and honest with yourself, and then you look at the actions further down in the line in the future, where you're probably not doing these at the moment, which is fair enough. Like, that's what's meant to be in this exercise, but is what you will be doing, and your ideal, your future you is capable of, and that you can do. Write a list of those actions down. And this is when you start to draw the lines between present you and future you, and you try and bridge the gap. Now, this is when, maybe it's something to do, get in shape. Maybe it's something fitness related. Maybe it's like you want to be more financially stable, and you want to be, independent financially. You want to be able to do something, whatever you want, and not really have to think too much about money. Maybe it's you don't really speak to many people, and you want to start to foster and build relationships with people. Make friends. Maybe it's like you need to feel like you need to get smarter, so you need to start reading, listening to podcasts, hanging out with people, and having conversations with people who are intelligent, learning. Maybe it's something like that, right? But it could be anything, and just write those future you actions down. And this is when you start to rewrite your actions with purposeful actions, with intentional actions. Maybe you drink quite a bit. Again, don't attach any emotions to this. Don't be like, oh man, I drink so much, like I'm worthless, like I can't believe I do this. Don't do that, because that's not helpful here. What's helpful is just to identify it and be completely honest and transparent with yourself. And what's most important here, this whole video, is to rewrite those intentions that you're going to be doing that would lead you to purposeful actions. And these actions over time, and this is the big step here, is patience. Because when you start to foster these actions with patience, you start to compound in these habits, and when these habits start to form, it becomes like you're on autopilot. You start doing these things without even needing to be intentional, because you've kept that intent out for a while. I'm just gonna stop here and just explain this. Like, it is that much important to just be aware of yourself, of your actions, and know where the most important thing here is just awareness. It's complete awareness of yourself. Know where you need to improve, and then whenever you're engaged in a negative, let's say it could be a negative action, it could be whatever, you suddenly you switch into the present moment, and you realize, like, wait a minute, I'm actually doing this, what I said I wasn't going to be doing. Then you have the option here and the opportunity to switch that. And whenever when you get into these routines where, like, suddenly you just become really aware, and you have the option, and you choose the option to go with the better side, the better choice, over time this accumulates, and this leads to a lot of growth. Let's say, like, you will be unrecognizable by the end of the year. And one big thing I wanted to mention actually is keep the end goal in mind. It's all about patience. Look at the bigger picture at the end. That's why I have that list of your future habits, your future you that you want to be like, there, written down. Because you can say it to yourself, that's fair enough, but you can always forget these things. Have it written down somewhere. Yeah. Rewrite yourself by... Sorry, I should say rewire yourself by rewriting your habits. Good luck.